Whoa.
Hello.
We're here.
It is time for episode 3/1.
Anyway.
My pussy hurts?
Really?
Oh,
really hurts?
Come on, Fritz. Be
Alright.
appropriate.
Well, we're starting off appropriate here. This is Usually Suspects. We're here for week 3. Best podcast. We're doing well.
Things are good.
We got sponsors. That's a thing.
We also are always looking for new sponsors. So if you like the podcast, send us stuff.
Yeah, that's a good thing to do. It would be a wise decision.
We will literally promote any agenda.
And we're in a moral gray area here.
Yes.
So
there's
send
no
us
such
stuff.
thing as people make the rules, and if you're strong enough, you can make the rules. That's the pyramid in the eye, people.
Ba-ching.
All right, how do we want to start this off, man?
I want to ask you this. How have you been?
Oh, I'm good. School's good right now. We both go to the University of Southern Maine. You ever heard of it? You ever been there? Have you seen this?
If you haven't,
have you heard this? So it's good school. I don't take that many classes right now. Kind of just like schwitzing around and schlepping my way back into the fall semester. And I'm good. Things are good. I had a test today. How about you?
I gave a presentation today, actually.
Wow, you're a grown-ass man.
You could say that, and it would not be false. Presentation today? Fucking killed it. That's just what I want to say.
What was the topic?
I had to look at Toni Morrison's novel A Mercy through an eco-critical lens. It was, it was really nothing that I worried about.
That sounds intellectual and kind of intimidating for me.
It was, it's a great book. A Mercy by Toni Morrison is a great novel. I would recommend reading it. But
what's so it's April 11th, as we said. Some big news recently, just for placing yourself around the time we recorded this. Michael Cohen, President Trump's lawyer, has been under attack from the Mueller investigation, so to speak. I could use.
The FBI.
Yeah, no, that's a big deal. This is a big deal,
yeah.
And we don't really know where it's going to go, but it's going to go somewhere, and you better believe we'll be around to watch and observe and have our take on it.
Closest shit since Watergate. I can't really think of anything else that would compare.
We were not alive for Watergate, but I imagine that was big news.
I do.
People were talking about that.
Definitely a lot of people were talking about it.
Yeah, no, people are talking about if he makes the call, he being the president, if he decides to fire the special prosecutor, what's next? And a lot of people are saying that would be the end of him. Who knows? This guy has not much left in the tank, it appears. I don't really know the situation, but he could do it, and it could be very consequential. Who knows? It may benefit him, because anything can happen. It's like the market, these politics. But dude, I on this podcast, I feel like we got to be careful. We don't really want to talk about politics too much.
We don't talk about politics a ton. And why do you think our peers, our listeners, might not want to hear about our political views all the time?
Oh, I am opinionated, but at the same time, my opinions can be so ridiculous. Sometimes I wish we had an honorable chairman and state-run stuff, but that's more of a joke than it is real. I know that that's ridiculous. Sometimes I think my opinions change all the time, and I know I have a lot of friends who are on the right, and I have a lot of friends on the left, and we don't want to mix it up. We want to be down-to-earth people that anyone can listen to and get along with.
I only have friends on the same side of the political spectrum.
I don't understand.
I don't like people who think differently than me.
I want to.
Come inside.
Oh shit.
Yikes.
Wow,
I don't know who that was.
That was a great soundbite.
I don't know.
Good for you. Holy shit, that was good.
Thank you.
You know what? Let's transition into...
Yeah, because politics ultimately sucks, kind of.
It's not the most exciting topic, and it usually leads to confrontation.
All right, so we are transitioning.
You know what? I have a thing, and I want this to be a new segment for us. Scary Animal of the Week.
Ooh.
You ever have animals that scare you? Well,
that's my tiger.
I have an animal that scares me, and our editor is gonna edit this a nice little picture of this in. Our editor.
I know him.
Yeah, you know him. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. My animal that I don't like. Here's another one. Geese.
low-key scary.
Fuck geese, dude.
You ever been chased by a goose?
I have.
A gosling?
A Gosling? Ryan?
No, I wish I was chased by Ryan Gosling. Ooh!
No, see, what our editor's gonna put in a picture of a geese's mouth. I'll show you a picture of a geese's mouth. Look at fucking geese. They're scary.
What the fuck?
They're scary animals. Fuck geese.
That's the photo that we're gonna put.
Yeah.
That's a terrifying photo. I like that. I definitely have a memory of being in a cemetery, feeding the ducks when I was younger, and tossing bread just like a charity, and and the geese goose Gosling comes around. And is like, hey man, what the fuck? I clearly stepped up on his on his street, and he fucking chased me a little bit. He didn't bite me or anything. I got out of there. I'm a pretty fast kid.
You know what they say? What's good for the goose is good for the gander.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that's actually how the saying goes, but I heard someone say that recently, and I want to talk about that person because this person's a savage. Sean Penn.
I've been to Iraq.
You like Sean Penn? What do you think of Sean Penn? I like Sean Penn.
Have you seen Team America?
Fuck yeah!
Yeah, they don't depict Sean Penn in a very good light.
I haven't seen that movie in years, but I don't really.
He's part of the
they talk shit about him.
He's part of the Film Actors Guild, which is an acronym FAG, and it's the head of Alec Baldwin. And no, it's actually hilarious. You could look it up on YouTube, just Film Actors Guild. Sean Penn said, "I've been to Iraq, and before the U.S. military was there, there was fields of chocolate, and the kids would play in them, and everything was great and splendid and dandy and gumdrop smiles."
It was literally Willy Wonka's chocolate factory. That's what.
Yeah,
happened.
no. Obviously, the guys from South Park, Trey Stone, Matt Parker, Trey Stone. I don't know which they. I always mix those names up. They're pretty hilarious, and they got some opinions on Sean Penn. What do you like about Sean Penn?
Sean Penn just came out with a new novel that I'm gonna read. It's gonna be pretty cool. Bill Honey, Who Just Do Stuff. It's a big political commentary on contemporary politics. It's pretty cool. But Sean Penn fucking interviews El Chapo. That's fucking sick.
Yeah, I know about that.
That's cool. That's some badass stuff. And Sean Penn got some bad rep for going to interview El Chapo, and I don't think he should have. Because have you watched the interview?
Sounds like a snitch to me.
He wasn't, though. El Chapo's whole point was that, and Sean Penn and El Chapo are on the same page, except the difference is that El Chapo is, making fortunes off of lots of people. It's unfortunate.
Oh, yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, when you're in charge, you have to give up a lot of morals. I mean, no, I don't have really anything wrong with bringing down El Chapo, but just the war on drugs is just, ridiculous. Doesn't work. Hasn't worked. Over $1 trillion has been spent. Since
their whole
the 70s.
thing was the war on drugs is we're trying to stop the supply side of it. When you're not going to stop the supply side of drugs, if anything,
make them legal.
Make them
everything. That would be wild.
Legal.
Now, honestly, in my opinion, fuck Sean Penn. I'm glad you like him. He's a very good actor. A couple of those movies he's done. The one where he's a death row inmate, I forget the title, but wow, it's really good. Very convincing. He's obviously a great actor and obviously part of that liberal Hollywood crowd, so I love the fact that the South Park guys can get him good,
He is.
You got to get checked when you're that famous.
He's definitely part of the liberal Hollywood crowd.
All right, I'm going to talk about the sports standings right now, specifically MLB. It is April 11th. The Red Sox played the Yankees last night and won a 14-1 game. Mookie Betts hit a grand slam, really shut the door in the sixth inning. Now their records in the top of the AL East, the Red Sox are at 9-1. That's a 900 percentage. They're 4-0 at home. The Yankees are at 5-6. That's the AL East because the rest of the teams don't really matter. At the top of the AL Central, it's a split between the Cleveland Indians and the Minnesota Twins. AL West, we got the Astros, no surprise there, people, tied with the Los Angeles Angels. Shohei Ohtani's making some moves this year. In the National League, the Mets are leading the East with a 9-1 record. What a start they came on to. You better keep an eye on Michael Conforto moving forward. The Nationals aren't far behind with 6-5. In the NL Central, we got the Pirates leading with an 8-2 record. The Milwaukee Brewers close behind. And in the NL West, the Diamondbacks having a good start, 8-3. After losing a big bat in J.D. Martinez to the Sox, this looks like they're rebounding pretty good. It's still early, and that was the MLB standings.
Say that 5 times fast.
Yeah, seriously, am I right?
There was a lot of acronyms and numbers on that.
Now we're gonna do MLB standings because I'm a sports guy, and I don't want to overwhelm the whole podcast with sports, but MLB is cool because there's a lot of money involved, and I'm a Red Sox fan if you couldn't tell, and I'm very excited about this start.
Love the Yankees.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah, they're my favorite team.
All right, man. What's next?
You know what? I got a question. You ever go to the movies?
Matter of fact, not very often anymore, but I still make the trip once in a while.
How much is once in a while? I probably go like 3 to 4 times a year.
I'd say I'm right around there, maybe a little bit more, maybe a little bit less.
And you know what? I think our generation's missing out on that. I feel like, you know, there used to be this whole vibe where a movie came out and you had to go see it, because if you didn't go see it and you didn't get that full cinematic experience, you were going to miss out and you were never going to get it again. And now it's just...
There is a cinematic experience.
There is.
And it's kind of like a mob mentality, because when most people in the theater laugh, you're going to laugh too. It's not like Netflix, where you are the person who can say, oh, I want to pause the movie. You can't pause the movie. You got to come in with your popcorn. But this is the problem with the movies, is the monopoly of pricing. Don't you think that's not good?
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely not good, but...
Do you think they could make more money if they sold at a lower rate? More people would buy, maybe? I don't know. Maybe they've already figured out the equation to the point that they're making the most money because people are still willing to pay.
I feel like people aren't going out of just laziness. It's just really convenient to go on Netflix.
It is. And you know what? The consumer always wins in the capitalist society.
Dude, the nearest Cinemagic is 15 minutes away. I could already pull up and start a movie and get a snack in 15 minutes. Just on my laptop.
Seen any like good movies lately?
You know, we watched it together, but Eyes Wide Shut, Stanley Kubrick.
That's not like a movie that you can go see recently, though. I mean, we watched that on Netflix.
Oh, yeah, we watched it.
It's a great movie.
It's a great movie. I thought you just meant in general.
Yeah, you've been to the movie. That's what my question is.
Last time I went to the movies was to see the new Star Wars in December.
Oh, how disappointing was that? I don't even want to get into it. I feel the exact same way that all those people grew up in the 70s and then they watched Phantom Menace for the first time. They probably hated that movie. And us, our generation, we were like, oh, fuck yeah, shit, balls, oh, you know what I mean? And, but all of a sudden now it's like, it's the same thing. And I can't really be judgmental to the people who like it, but it sucked. Mark Hamill was pretty good. I like his scenes.
Yeah, but the scenes that he was fucking in.
Yeah, very few of them.
He was in like 10 scenes in the movie.
Yeah, no, it's crazy. I wish I had a little bit more of this. A little bit more of this. That's what I wanted.
Yeah,
I wanted. You know, I don't need the special graphics, and it was too cheesy too.
With way too many one-liners.
Yeah, no, it wasn't funny, and it tried to be funny.
I liked episode 7 way more than episode 8. Yeah.
I actually really liked that one. Awakens. I didn't love it, but I liked it. I thought it was good. I liked the fact that they killed Han Solo. I really didn't like Carrie Fisher's role in the new one, too. Oh, and also, she didn't die. Carrie Fisher didn't die, so how are they going to work that in next movie? Because, as you know, she's dead now.
She is not alive. Well, they'll probably
R.I.P. Carrie Fisher.
They'll probably CGI her in there.
Yeah, you know what? I would not be surprised.
Have you seen Rogue One?
Yeah,
they
Grand Moff.
CGI'd whatever the fucking dude was.
Grand Moff Tarkin.
And you know what? Last time I went to the movies, I remember I was right when I got home from Prague, and I went to Dunkin' Donuts, and this leads into my beef of the week. Because the same thing happened to me then, and I remember vividly. Beef of the week. I vividly remember this, and it pisses me off, and it happened to me again recently. I go through the drive, but for the viewers and listeners, I drink a lot of coffee. I have a serious dependency on caffeine, and
it's kind of fucked up.
It's not healthy. I'm drinking it right now.
You are supporting globalism.
Yep.
Which is terrible necessarily.
If I get lots of good coffee for cheap, then fuck yeah.
So what's the beef, man?
I go through the drive-thru, and I ask for black coffee. Black coffee. Like, yo, go Dunkin' Donuts.
So hard.
Large, because I hate myself is what it is.
Oh, black coffee.
No
sugar.
It's just buying black coffee means you have a lot of repressed guilt. And I ask, hey, can I get a black coffee? And they go, okay, do you want any room to put cream and sugar? I'm in the drive-thru. I don't just carry cream and sugar with me. Why would you ask me if I want room to put things in it if I ask for a black coffee in the drive-thru? Maybe I'm out of line. Maybe I'm focusing on a really just trivial fucking thing that doesn't matter, but it really grinds my gears. And that's my beef for the week. It grinds my gears. Don't ask me if I'm in the drive-thru.
That's wild. I guess I got a couple beefs. I got some stew. I'm stewing some beefs. My first beef of the week.
Who that knocking at the door? Probably a couple junkies.
Okay, yeah, so junkies. Guys, stop doing it. Stop putting that stuff in your body.
It makes you ugly.
Makes you wild. I mean, sometimes you become a junkie and you can't stop. I get it. But why did you do it in the first place? Maybe it's an opioid problem. I don't know. I'm just beefing with you guys for the sake of beef. Am I not allowed to beef? I think I am. My next beef in the stew of beef.
This is a big
little bit of self beef.
Self beef.
A little bit of self.
I wish we had a couch for you to sit on.
I wish I could think more about myself and judge myself better and actually change, but I am human. And dude, my beef of the week is the look that my dogs give me when I leave in the middle of the day and no one else is around. And
that is personal.
And they're just they just look at me with those eyes and they're like, "You asshole, you are our ticket out of here. Take us for a walk." They really don't need much, 35, 45-minute walk. And I'm just like, nope, not today. I got stuff to do. It's sad. So yeah, that's my beef stew.
That's some personal beef. Bergie.
Yeah.
Tell the people about your dog.
It's not my dog, but my sister's dog comes and stays at my house frequently. He's hilarious. I love Bergie.
Bergie's pretty funny. We had a friend that we used to call Bergie, and for a while, and then he got really upset that we kept calling him Bergie.
Hey, that's all good and all, but I've been thinking about this. Hey, Nick, why aren't more women in positions of power?
Well, Fritz, because bears can smell the menstruation.
Ugh! Don't you hate it when a bear knocks a lovely lady off the corporate ladder?
Quite seriously, I do, and it's a problem. Discrimination amongst bears, it's not okay. Vote yes on 2. No more discrimination amongst bears.
No, but seriously. Actually, there's a really good Jordan Peterson video on this, and it talks about the burdens of being an alpha male. And I wouldn't say I'm an alpha male in any ways, but it was very interesting. I don't always agree with this guy. He's a Toronto professor. He's definitely right leaning, but he talks some sense. And
this is the guy that.
Yeah, no, he's got a huge YouTube following, and he's pretty smart. And I know a lot of people out there know about him already. He's been on Joe Rogan's podcast. I like watching his videos. I wouldn't say I agree with everything about him, but I still think it's important to listen to people you disagree with and not just be completely blind about, what you believe in, because guess what? The world's always changing and nothing really matters.
Impermanence, Speaking of Joe Rogan, I would say that he should be sweating. Because our podcast is growing.
Hey, here we come, Rogan. Rogan versus Gemmer, arm wrestling match. Who do you think wins?
Speaking of growing, I think this is a good time for a word from our sponsors.
Hi, I'm Mark LaJoji Jr., and my specialty is windows. The LaJoji family has been serving hard-working Mainers for over 100 years. When it comes to windows and all things Maine, the LaJoji family knows best. If you need a checkup, replacement, or installation, call LaJoji Windows. Call today. Applied this week is best. It's in the pussy box news for the end of the day. All parlors will be reapplied by Monday.
You know what, Fritz? I think this model of the world is bullshit.
Well, I'm not gonna lie to you. It's definitely not a perfect representation. But Greenland is...
I just want to say, there is no big fucking thing here in the middle of the ocean. This isn't here. This is a lie.
For those of you listening, we are holding a globe, aka fake news.
Fake news. Flat earthers. Conspiracy theories. They're alive. They're here. And honestly, they're probably here to stay. Conspiracy theories have been around. Flat earthing is it's a fucking verb now. In gerund form, add the ing. You're flat earthing. You're flat earthers. What do you think about flat earthers? One of the biggest flat earthers is right here in Portland, Maine. I don't remember what his...
Fuck flat earthers.
I don't remember what his name is, and he doesn't deserve
I love spinning a globe. And, but I'll admit, flat earthers, it's kind of hard to comprehend, the fact that we're just spinning, and it's fucking wild. And it's going so fast. And, gravity is a tricky theory, too, but that doesn't mean you're right, you pieces of shit.
Honestly,
you cocksuckers! You fucking motherfuckers! I just want to turn into Joe Pesci when a flat earther comes around me, and I just I just go all you fucking, Casino or fucking Goodfellas, just beat the shit out of all that Sicilian rage that I never got inherited.
Just cut them up into pieces and wear their skin.
Yeah, wait, what?
What?
Sorry, that was... Do you have any actually like fun conspiracy theories? Like, give me one that I should entertain the thought of.
Oh, JFK.
JFK.
What's
What about
going on
JFK?
there? I mean, the only reason why that's such a good one is because, obviously, you don't kill yourself. We've seen someone kill him. Who killed him? Here's a good part of that. Were there more than one shooters? Was there more than one shooter?
Do you? What I've heard. Alright, so
You've seen the
it's-
Zapruder film.
No, I haven't.
So
It kind of looks like he gets shot from the front.
John Wilkes Booth kills him.
No,
that's fucking Abraham Lincoln.
But they still have 3 names, though.
There's still 3 names.
There's actually a whole thing about Kennedy and Lincoln being linked, and I saw like that meme on Facebook. I wouldn't be able to find it, but like there is a meme that like links the two together. How like they had secretaries with each other's names.
Jack Ruby killed the guy who killed JFK.
Yeah, it was Lee Harvey Oswald.
Lee Harvey Oswald. There we go.
So,
He's the one who definitely was involved. Was he involved all by himself? We don't know. But why? Jack Ruby's a member of the mob. He has ties to Giancotta, who Bobby Kennedy was going after hard. And you know, the mob actually probably had some things to do with getting Jack Kennedy elected. So you know about Frank Sinatra. He was a guy who Don Rickles would always just let him have it. You know, let him have it about like being like a tie to the mob, and part of the reason why Jack had such great support was definitely in part because of Sinatra. Sinatra was a huge voice for people, tons of people. He was the biggest star at times. Yeah. And so, you know, Kennedy's dad, he was a rum runner. They come into office all of a sudden, they get the most powerful circle, and they start going after the mob. Bobby Kennedy was like what did Nixon say in that Pat Buchanan interview in 1982? He says, Bobby Kennedy was like a Jesuit priest. Passionate in all regards. Very intelligent. Yeah, no. They killed Bobby, too. I mean, it's probably this is what I think, and this is like what conspiracy theorists think. People think that the right-wing people of the nation, the Cubans, the Russians, the CIA. Look up John and Alan Dulles. These guys are tricky figures that have their own. They have a ton. Oh, it's totally Machiavellian. They have a ton of conspiracy theories around them, like MK Ultra. This is about mind control and TV and how we're basically all sheep. I don't know if I believe that one as much, but all I'm saying, something went on with JFK.
Something happened. You know what? He's dead. So that happened.
Do you have like a believable... Dude, I don't really want to get into 9/11, dude.
I don't want to get into 9/11.
It's too soon.
Too soon.
It's not too soon to make a joke. But it's too soon to like really know what happened. Maybe it'll never be
You know
soon.
what makes really funny 9/11 jokes?
My boy Norm Macdonald. For those of you, I'm going to do a plug right now. Norm Macdonald Live on YouTube is a video podcast, and oh my goodness, is it great. I'm sporting his book right here, relatively new. It says Norm Macdonald, based on a true story, not a memoir. And there's a foreword by Louis C.K. Ooh. No, yeah, not a very good forward in retrospect, but I bet Louis will come back to comedy eventually. This is what?
You know who's sweating right now? Norm Macdonald.
Norm Macdonald
Because
Live.
our podcast is
It's coming.
Booming.
Oh, by the way, FBI, CIA, NSA, if you're listening, send us some stuff. Send us some merch. We love stuff.
If you're not part of any organization, you can still send us stuff.
Yeah, we will literally support any agenda.
Any agenda we will support.
Yes. So yeah, Norm Macdonald. He's one of my favorite comedians. Yeah, I got his book. Read the book, Norm Macdonald, based on true story, and it's kind of reads like a. That's what they say on the back. It reads like a Hunter S. Thompson novel. It's definitely more novel than true, but there's tons of true stuff about it.
Quasi nonfiction, right?
No, it is, and it's good. It's really clever, and you just read it in his voice. You know that I'm Norm Macdonald. That voice. I fucking. He's great.
He's funny. I got some music recommendations for you.
Oh, you know what, man? I love music.
Yeah. Well, open up your earlobes, because I'm about to grace them with some beautiful music.
Maybach music.
It's Maybach music.
No, not necessarily.
It's not Maybach music. But my music recommendation of the week, this man's dead. This is an old one.
Ooh.
An oldie but a goldie. Lou Reed. The Velvet Underground.
Let's talk about. I don't know about him. I know that name.
Velvet Underground, they got They got one of the records up there. I don't know if it can be seen on the camera. They got a cult following. You ever see like the white background with a banana?
Oh, I think I know what you're talking about. I still can't like think about the music, but yeah, I know what you're.
Yeah, it's up there. But Lou Reed, awesome. At the end of Lou Reed's career is more of like spoken word, a lot of poetry with like some accompanying cool guitar riffs and stuff like that. But first album came out in '67. Andy Warhol, cult following, grew, became sick in the 1970s. They had a great album called Loaded. Look him up. You won't regret it. He really is kind of like the godfather of punk. And I'll end it with that.
So they influenced like Sex Pistols?
Oh, for sure.
Oh, that's cool.
For sure. All of like these like all the punk bands like the Ramones, the Clash, the Sex Pistols.
The Ramones are so cool.
All these guys who were really like the Dead Boys were at the forefront of punk. They were all, Velvet Underground fans.
Yeah, no, punk is essential in music. I think punk totally influenced Nirvana. The underground 80s punk that no one hears about because the fucking music industry was like so in charge. And then all of a sudden here comes Nirvana. Punk is street music. It's the music of the people.
There's really cool bands. There's really cool bands in the 80s, like the Misfits or Rancid. There's some cool like LA punk bands that were going on.
Yeah, LA had a good scene, didn't they? Oh, you fucking Chili Peppers in their early part of their career.
Have you ever seen their concerts? Always shirtless.
Yeah, they're
They're
wild.
always fucking shirtless.
Talk about a wild
Doing,
life.
like, fucking arm things.
Forget what's the lead singer's name again?
The Nikitas.
Yeah, Kiedis, dude. Dude, he was born to be a rock star.
He was born to be a rock star.
Literally, his dad was like one of the biggest drug dealers in all of LA.
How did I know that?
He used to I've read somewhere or heard on some video on YouTube that he like lost his virginity at like anywhere between the age 8 to 12 or something like that.
Can you even come?
I don't know. Kiedis probably came. No, I think his dad like hooked him up with like this hot prostitute or something. It's all fucked up. He's clearly like fucked up and damaged from it, but talk about like a pretty cool way to be fucked up.
He doesn't ever want to feel like he did on that day.
Yeah, no, that's a sad song.
That was a sad
Under the
song.
Bridge.
Under the Bridge. I think
I think that's my favorite one too.
I would probably say it's my favorite one. And I would say when he was listening to that or writing that, he was probably drinking some Liquid Diablo.
Hey, what in the world is Liquid Diablo?
666, the blood of Satan. His saliva. It's actually his saliva in a can, if you didn't know. And I am referring to Monster Energy drinks.
Woo!
Yes!
What's your favorite?
I like this is some pussy shit. I like the fucking low sugar one with like the light blue claw marks. That one tastes good. I think it tastes the best.
Was it Code Red? Or like Red
No,
Alert?
that's Mountain Dew.
What was the red one? They stopped selling it. I bet they still sell it some places, but it was
Yeah, because like we used to stop at.
it was like assault.
Salt. We used to stop at 3D's Variety and get some Monster.
Yeah, I really like the red one, and I also really love just the original green. Yeah, I haven't had a Monster in forever, and that's probably a good
Probably for the
thing.
best. We had that phase.
Liquid Diablo.
We had that phase during the lacrosse season where we would get a fucking Monster.
We also could plug that Monster video.
Yes.
That would be funny.
We should definitely do that.
That's totally inspired by our inside jokes.
Why did we get so into Monster? I mean,
I don't know. Maybe because it was fucking awesome.
fuck yes.
Honestly, people, if you have a good inside joke, send it our way. We love inside jokes, and we want to be on the inside. We want to be inside guys.
I just want to be accepted.
Accept us into your life. Send us some inside jokes. Maybe we'll share one, and maybe the other viewers won't be in on it.
You can also send us stuff. You can also send us.
I take stuff. I like free stuff.
That's what I have to say. Tell me about Spotify. You had something that you wanted to say about Spotify.
Okay. In the world,
Spotify's been a reoccurring topic in our podcast.
fair enough. It's a good service.
is
People
a
like
good service.
Spotify, and I said earlier that the consumer always wins. And so very recently, there's news in like the financial world that Spotify and Hulu are teaming up for a package deal of $12.99 a month, where you can get all their services, and that sounds like a pretty good deal to me. Sounds like they're attacking
Fuck
their
Hulu.
competitors, aka Apple, and I don't know,
Fuck Apple
Netflix.
Music.
It's just like providers. Providers are providing, and the consumer will eat this deal up. We'll see how it goes. I don't really know if there's good shows on Hulu or not because I'm not really on it. But yeah, man.
On shoes, comment below what kind of shoes you wear.
Yeah, no. Well, we're gonna be doing a poll, and we'll share the results with you next time about what people's favorite shoe brands are, because I bet you guys are interested with that.
No foot fetish.
Anyways, guys, we want to thank you for listening to Usually Suspect.
This has been episode 3.
We hope you guys have a good and wonderful time.